All right, we're back. A brand new spanking overtime episode. Isn't it supposed to be brand spanking new, not brand new spanking? I messed that up, but
I'm pretty
don't worry
sure,
about
yeah.
it. And by brand new, I mean we're reviewing the oldest movie we've ever watched, possibly ever will watch on this channel. Nosferatu from 1922. That shit
Wait, what?
rhymes. What's up?
How did you pronounce it?
Nosferatu? How do you pronounce it? Nosferatu?
It's not nose, it's nos.
No,
Nosferatu.
Nosferatu.
You keep saying it. Nose for two?
Yeah,
And I'm like, what?
yeah.
Okay, sorry, but it's
Which which
pretty
most
sure it's Nosferatu, but I'm not
I'm
sure.
going based off of
I'm not sure. Yeah, I can't go hard into it
yeah.
because, I'm not
I'm
sure.
going based off of the old SpongeBob episode where they're like, "Who was flickering the lights?" And then they look, Nosferatu, and so they're flickering the lights.
If that was you on the phone and you on the bus, then who was flickering the lights? Nosferatu!
Anyway, shout out to that SpongeBob episode. Did you just punch me?
No, I hit my thing because I was typing in how to pronounce.
Oh, oh yeah. See if if you got a little speaky thing.
I mean, you're gonna have to do it anyways
Oh well. Anyway.
because you're not gonna hear mine.
Well, yeah, but then you could have told me, how the computer said it. Anyway, Nosferatu. I can't speak now. You've messed me up.
Every time I've done it so far, you started saying it.
Okay, go ahead.
It's Nosferatu.
Nosferatu. There you go. We watched that.
Yeah.
So, usually at this point,
You know what?
what's up?
We would have known how it was pronounced if the movie was worth a shit. but, but
So yeah, usually at this point, like we would give our scores or whatever. But I almost feel weird scoring this one because it's a silent movie, so it's
it's a
like
classic.
yeah,
And it's like everything was built on it. So it's like, how do you judge something from
from
almost 100 years ago?
almost 100 years ago. Yeah, it's like yeah. So I don't think I'm even gonna give this one a score, just because it's just like. You can't really put a score on. I mean, this thing, despite if it aged well or if you liked it or not, I mean, this thing's fucking history. Like, I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
it's like,
we didn't watch this for entertainment, right? We watched this for the educational value
yeah,
of it or whatever.
yeah. I didn't go into this being like, I'm gonna really like this. I went into it being like, this is like horror history. Like, here.
Yeah.
I did though. I went into it. Well, we'll talk about it a little more. But I went into it based off of some gifs and stuff I had seen. But we'll talk about it. So hey,
Spoiler warning
spoiler
for
warning
the
for
movie that was made before film existed.
yeah before yeah. So spoilers. So first off, how do you feel about Nosferatu's look? I'm gonna keep calling him Nosferatu. You can't stop me. But how do you think he looked in this movie? Because me and my papa had an argument about this the other day.
I think he had. Well, there's a couple things I want to say, but I think back then
Uh huh.
that a person could be born with like a disfigurement or a
Yeah.
disability and look like that and be considered a monster, and that's just what they went for, but a little bit more just
Oh yeah.
exaggerated.
By the way, the guy who played him looked nothing like that.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's but like none of his features were super crazy, right? But like
Yeah.
he was just a little bit off to where he didn't look like anybody else. That being said, half the people in this movie look special.
They were like yeah. The main character was real weird looking the whole movie. Fucking what's the Harker? That's his name. But
so just evolution.
Yeah, evolution.
I thought
There's-
his name was Jonathan or something.
yeah, but they called him Harker the whole time in the like writing, but his name's like Jonathan Harker or some shit. Um, but I I think Nosferatu looks fucking dope in this movie, and I think he's probably my favorite looking vampire I've seen. My dad thinks he looks like a complete idiot. And I was like, no, he looks cool. I don't know. There was something he looks like a bat, kind of, you know, like and it's like, is it just me or does his fingers get longer throughout the movie?
Yeah,
Like,
he gets taller
he
too.
gets-
like,
yeah, there's some scenes of him coming through the door and stuff where he looks dope, and he's just this tall fucking like
yeah. Like, did they build that door for him?
For
Like,
him, yeah.
It's almost exactly the same.
yeah, which he looks dope. Spoiler warning, he's only in this movie for like 9 minutes. So I looked it up, and he's in it for a combined total of like 9 minutes and 40 seconds or something.
There's a really cool scene with him in it, and it was the only scene in the movie I actually enjoyed. That, yeah, which is crazy because it's a 100-year-old movie, so you assume that I wouldn't enjoy any scene, right?
There is
But there
one that I got a legitimate laugh out of this, and I'll tell you about that one in a minute.
Oh, I didn't laugh. I was
Oh,
like,
I
that's cool.
laughed. Well, not this
like,
part. Which part are you talking about?
It's when he's on the boat, and they do like
Yeah.
a special effect where he's like a ghost sitting on the I guess coffins, but they're not coffins,
Uh-huh.
they're crates or whatever. But like he's there and he's like kind of transparent, but not really.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, man, this is cutting edge.
Oh,
shit.
I thought you were gonna say it was when he like stands up straight
Oh, no,
out of the
No,
out of the
it was
casket.
before that. Yeah,
I
no,
thought that
I'm
was
not.
dope when he like
Yeah.
comes up like
They legitimately make like Halloween scaring toys that do that now.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. Now you know where they got it from.
yeah.
Well, they talk about it because then you have like the Book of the Vampire, and oh, I don't remember which vampire it is, but they say one is like a phantom, like it's on the border of like not even really there and stuff. So I think that's what they were going for right there, is that you know it. The moment that got me to laugh is here we go. So
Good notes.
yeah, Harker is like he's staying in his little inn or whatever, and he looks out the window, and I can't remember if it was horses or what was running, but he sees
Horses.
them. Okay, yeah, and he sees them like run across the field, and he looks at the Book of the Vampire or whatever, and it's like beasts can usually sense trouble before man can, and he goes, ha ha, and he throws
yeah. Yeah.
he throws the book down on the ground, and I lost it. I laughed so hard at that. Which shout out to that dude just not giving a fuck.
I like in the very beginning, the guy was like, Harker, I'm going to send you to this count and blah, blah. You're young, so what's a little pain and blood?
And blood, yeah.
I was like, what?
And he's looking at it and he's like, like,
Well,
and
it's the same guy who played Dracula, right? Or am I
it's
wrong?
a different guy. I thought it was the same guy too.
Yeah,
but-
they look the same.
Yeah, no, right. They look totally the same, which then I get, you find out that fucking that guy's working for Dracula, and which I guess, because then Harker gets bit, and I thought it was cool where they're like, oh, he's acting crazy, and they go in the room and he's turning into like Dracula. He looks like him. I was like, oh, that's cool. But then I thought it was a little ridiculous how he's like coming towards him and like looking all mean, and it cuts back to the cops and them, and they're just like staring at him, no reaction, and then the guy jumps out of them, and they're like, "Whoa!" It's like, yeah, did you think he was a normal person? That happens, and then later in the movie, the cops just like sweeping the floor,
Yeah.
and Harker like jumps out. And he like tackles him, and I guess he kills him or something. And he like, and he bites him, but you don't really see him bite him. So, shout out to that.
Well, that's two different guys, right? Because we're talking about the main character, and you're talking about the main character's boss. Because the boss was the one in the crazy mental hospital.
No, I thought that was Harker.
No. Harker was like running across the world to get back to his beloved. And the other guy was like, "The master comes."
Oh,
It's hard to tell.
it's
because
hard
all
to
these people
tell.
look the same.
They look very alike in this movie.
Have you seen Bram Stoker's Dracula?
Nope.
You need to. Okay, so like,
I haven't seen it. But then my dad was like, because I was like, well, what vampire do you like better? And he was like, well, what's that movie with that dude from The Fifth Element that was the bad guy? He's Dracula or whatever. And Dracula. That's how he pronounced it.
yeah, he says it. He goes Dracula. That's how he says it in the movie.
And he says that that's his favorite vampire.
Yeah, funny story. Bram Stoker's Dracula is the same movie, just
Same,
redone.
yeah. When I looked it up, it's the same characters. It's Reinfeld, the guy who's working for Dracula. It's all the same people.
But
Which Bram Stoker, I think, is the guy who wrote the book. So
yeah.
yeah.
But if you watch that movie, like I was watching this and I was like, have I seen this? I was like, I don't remember anything about real estate.
Yeah.
But yeah, watch Bram Stoker. It is the quintessential Dracula movie. Like it's that good to where everything else you see. I mean, it has Winona Ryder in it, who I personally hate.
Yeah.
But a lot of people love her for some reason. Don't understand.
What about the Christopher Lee Dracula? I never watched that one. But
Man, who's it? Gary Oldman? Is that the guy?
Gary Oldman, yeah.
He's amazing.
Well, I mean, he's amazing in everything.
But he's like he's really really good.
Yeah.
And fucking Keanu Reeves is in it.
I
He's a
saw
great character.
Keanu.
But we'll not talk about that because I think he's actually pretty horrible in this.
Yeah.
And I'm not allowed to say that. But.
The movie starts off and it's just organ music. And it's like playing the shit, right? This is how Thomas starts his notes, okay? Some sweet ass organ music kicking off the movie. Okay?
Doesn't realize.
So then we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 notes later, and you get, okay, I've gotten sick of the organ music.
Man, I was like 24 minutes in.
Yeah.
I sent you a message, and I was like, I don't know if I can watch this.
I
was like, it's just constant noise.
It was right after my favorite part, which is him slamming the book down. And I like the parts where it got quiet. I like the quiet organ music. If it was that, I think I would have been okay with it the whole movie. But it was the blaring, like where nothing dramatic even is happening. It's just like people having a conversation, and it was like, and then it makes me wonder, and I'm sure if I look it up, I could find out. But it's like if they could incorporate organ music into these movies, why was it such a problem for them to record like vocals?
So what it is you would go to a movie theater, right?
Uh-huh.
And they would play this, and then it would come with sheet music.
Oh, yeah.
So then, if an organ's in tune, they all sound the same. Uh-huh. So it would be like if it just came with a CD, and you'd put the CD and play it.
Yeah.
So it's like, then that's how they did it. Like, but you couldn't have just people acting it out, because then you just have a play, right?
Yeah.
So, but...
I did see that there is a version of this movie. Where is it? A version of this movie that came out, here we go, in the 90s, where the entire film score was replaced with music of Typo Negative. And
really?
Typo Negative plays through the whole movie. And I was like,
right?
What's up?
With vocals or no?
I don't know if it was vocals or just like, or just fucking...
Just music.
Just their music.
I don't know. I'm sure when this movie came out, people were like, holy shit balls.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
It was like the first Matrix of them, right? They're like, did you see that?
Yeah.
And I was watching this and I was like, good Lord.
Yeah.
I just want to hear someone say something.
Right?
Like,
I thought every now and then when the music would get quiet, I thought you could almost hear, but then I know it's not there, but something about them talking. I was like, did I hear something? And I was like, no.
Did and like, I don't know if people are slow readers or what, but those title cards are word cards.
They stay up there. They make sure you can read them all.
because I read it and I'd like look away, because
Yeah.
you're just waiting for the scene, and I'd look back, and go, "Oh, is this the same
Yeah.
one?" Yeah, it
It
is.
would, and like, I could understand if it's like a paragraph, but it would be Anna, no. it would it would stay up there for just forever, which yeah.
And for some reason, it was never centered on the screen. It was like off to the
Yeah,
side,
I
and I'm like, why?
so apparently all the original like negatives in film and stuff were destroyed. There's a whole like copyright issue with Bram, with the dude who wrote the book, and apparently they tried to change names of people to like avoid but something went on. So all the like times you watch it now, it's like from other second hand like recordings of it or something. So that's why it looks, yeah, but it was like slightly off the screen. There's a part, I think it's the part in the boat that I said was cool, where he stands up straight, where his head's cut off. You can't even see his face. It's just his body that stands up, and it's like, oh man.
That's all you need, really.
I guess. I saw this, which I thought was funny. Is that, usually it's not uncommon for like older horror movies to be banned in countries and stuff. It's not uncommon nowadays. I think what's the big one? What's the country?
China banned a lot of stuff.
Yeah, what's the country that banned Saints Row because they had the probe gun? That was a big
Sweden?
thing. Maybe, I don't know, but it's usually like, oh, over sexualized or gore or whatever. This movie was banned in Sweden until 1972, Tyler, for excessive horror. This movie was too scary. It could not be shown in Sweden. People in Sweden would shit their britches if it was shown. Shout out to that.
So I don't. My time, like, I don't understand things.
Uh-huh.
This movie came out in 1922, right?
Yeah.
That was right after the First World War, right?
Yeah, I think it was just wrapped up. Or
So
maybe it
how
had
did-
like a year left or something.
We literally went through a war of the world.
Yeah.
Like, literally, it's in the title.
Yeah.
How do people find this scary?
Yeah, right? Like, after everything
like-
they had just gone through.
They're like, Dad's not coming home. Oh no,
Yeah.
the humanity died
It's
in the
like
war.
the invention.
Oh no, shadowy guy.
Yeah. The invention of like fucking gas warfare and like all this stuff. It's like, I'm pretty sure this is the time where you get all the pictures of all the kids wearing the gas masks and all the shit.
It's like, it's like, we, 30,000 people died yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, that box has rats in it. Like,
Yeah.
what, like, I don't know if that's supposed to be like a black plague or whatever, but
Yeah, like, this whole movie, then they're like, apparently everyone just starts getting sick in this town. And they're like, oh, the plague or whatever started with this couple. And so I don't know if there's like a weird vampire plague going on there or what's happening. I didn't know what was happening. It was very hard to pick up.
I took it as if the guy was feeding on people, and then they were turning into vampires,
Yeah.
and they were feeding on people, and that's how the plague was going
Yeah.
about.
There was a lot of moments in this where I couldn't tell if it was night or not. Like,
Right.
so Dracula would just be walking out, and I'd be like, does daytime not affect these guys? And then if you look it up, a lot of the scenes were filmed during the daytime. Obviously, because it's like hard to get enough light for black and white stuff. We went over in the Lighthouse, how like I talked about how William Dafoe and Robert Pattinson just couldn't see each other because just the lights are so bright to get enough exposure for it. So a lot of times it is during the day, which that sort of took me out every now and then, where I'd be like, is he just walking around in broad daylight?
So you said earlier that Dracula only had 9 minutes of, Nosferatu, or whatever everyone want to call him.
Yeah, I think he's Dracula, even though everyone calls him Nosferatu now. Or at least this version of him.
You said he only had 9 minutes of screen time.
Uh-huh.
Why did they feel the need to make 4 minutes of that him walking around with his casket?
Yeah. Yeah, that was weird.
I was like, this is a moving video?
Yeah.
Like, what?
I don't know.
Just walking around carrying that big ass box.
Yeah.
I was like, what's going on?
Yeah, and then at that point, still, I was still like, okay, is this Dracula or is this like I didn't even really know who it was at that point. Like,
He was
ah,
like walking around with it, and then like the next scene showed him in a boat with it, and like
yeah,
looking
and
around.
it's
I'm like,
like it looks like a fucking '90s Beck music video where he's just
yeah,
like got over, just, and he's like
like
running.
Benny Hill, wherever, like, "Wah, wah, 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 wah,
Yeah,
wah, wah." But it was like I was like, man, they didn't need to show
yeah.
this.
I wanted a lot more of Nosferatu, which
I'm
obviously the.
telling you, Bram Stoker will blow you
Oh
away.
yeah,
Like it is so. I mean, honestly, it came out 90 years after this, but
yeah.
no, not that.
It came out '92. I looked it up today or yesterday.
Yeah, so 70 years later.
70, yeah, 70 years later. So
So, but it's phenomenal. It's really long though,
yeah, it was like
but
2.5 hours or something
yeah,
like that.
it's a great movie.
Um, another so Harker or Jonathan, whatever you want to call him, gets back and then immediately like his wife is like, oh, something's weird here. And she starts reading the Book of the Vampire, which then you have to read the same pages you've read like 7 times throughout this whole movie. And then you get to where it has to be like the love of the guy's life or whatever has to willingly give her blood to Dracula and then spend the night with him until the cocks crow at dawn or whatever.
Yeah,
And
I was like, I just saw the word cock and went,
yeah, I did too. I was like, um, but so then you get a scene where Dracula across the street at this house that he's bought is staring at the wife through the window, and he like thriller walks out of the window like looking at her or whatever, and he comes through, and this is when you get your iconic Nosferatu moments where it's him in the doorway and he starts sucking blood. And then when Harker and them come walking in, you get the shot of him like looking up from her neck, and it's really cool. Like it's what wanted me to watch this movie is all the shots of. Little did I know, every GIF and stuff I saw was all of was
was it
all of
weird? That
Dracula.
it's not the classical canines, like the teeth. It had
Oh
like
yeah,
it was like the front
it was
two.
like it was
Yeah.
yeah. Once
And I
again,
was
I
like,
think that's
that's
like a
weird.
bat. Like the bat has the front two or whatever. Um, But yeah, and so then I guess he's been doing this since dawn, and so then the sun comes up and he goes in front of the mirror and he goes and then he just disappears. He disappears, and so then the spell is broken and all saved. I don't know about you, but none of that looked willingly to me. Her giving dude his blood. She was never like, "Oh, Dracula, come take my blood." She was like, "No."
There was a weird scene where right before he does that, he like comes through the door and he like raises his hand and all he sees like the shadow. You don't see
Yeah,
his hand,
yeah,
and he like grabs her and it's supposed to be her heart
uh-huh,
that he has his hand on,
yeah,
but it just looks like he's like grabbing her boob
uh-huh,
because
yeah,
And I was like, this is weird. I was like, oh, it's a heart. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. I don't know. I think in her mind it was willing. So
yeah.
I mean, she killed Dracula, but then
She
like,
did.
she dies, right?
Does she? I thought she lived.
I don't know.
I
At
don't
the
know. I
end,
kind of
it
looked
was
away
like-
at the end, and then it was just over. I don't
And
think
then
there was any credits. It just went out.
well, the credits were the beginning of the movie.
Yeah,
Fucking
yeah,
jackasses that got me.
yeah,
Started watching. I was like, why am I watching credits?
yeah.
It's like, oh, well, let me skip these.
Um,
But it was so he dies and they come in and the lady like goes limp in the bed and it has like the fat doctor guy and he turns around and he goes, Dracula is dead. Then like
yeah,
6 seconds, right?
Yeah.
And it was like, we're good, and then it was GG.
yeah. There was a lot of like there was that random dude in the middle of the street who was like, "Oh boy, don't run from your destiny." It's like, where did you come from, old man? Like,
My favorite was when the guy was on the roof and they were throwing rocks at him.
yeah,
So then you had to watch him get off the roof, and it was like the most klutzy, like non-graceful thing I've ever seen. Because he like climbs down and he's like holding onto the pipe, and he's like,
yeah. I got excited when well, first off, before I talk about that, I saw this that we're into like these creepy stories and curses and all this stuff. Apparently, the actress who played the hero's sister, which I didn't even know there was a sister in this movie, so that was a surprise to me already.
Was that supposed to be who she went and stayed with?
I
Maybe.
guess she described a scene that she filmed where she was running from the vampire along a beach. Okay? Here's the thing though. None of the crew, anyone else has any notion of ever filming that. It's not in the script. It's nowhere. And they're filming this around, like where vampires are from or whatever.
Yeah.
So the myth, the urban legend is she was running away from a real vampire that was there. And I saw that and I was like, that's pretty neat. So yeah, everyone else is like, we don't remember ever filming anything like that. Like,
So I'm gonna make a movie, and I'm gonna hire all these like straight out of film school kids,
uh
and I'm just gonna murder them all at the end.
huh, yeah,
That way, like the movie's gonna be big because you're gonna be like, all these people died at the end.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know? Like, so
yeah.
I'm like, yes.
Weirdly enough, I looked up, or didn't look up. I watched something else. That Lake Mungo, the dude who directed that. After he did that, he hasn't made anything else. He just sort of what? Oh, my camera froze there for a minute. He hasn't.
You went what? And I was like, huh?
Yeah. He hasn't done anything since that. He's just sort of dropped off the face of the earth. And it's like a thing now where people are like, what happened to the guy who made Lake Mungo? And it's like a mystery how no one knows. And I was like, that's pretty cool. Like that's how you should do it. You should make one movie and then just disappear. Like, so, oh, someone's calling me. Myrtle Beach. Fuck out of here. Decline.
That's me. I'm in Myrtle Beach.
I'm sorry, dude. I hung up on you. Hey, this film is included on Roger Ebert's greatest movie list. Ooh.
Me and him agree on a lot of things, but
yeah, most of it's the bad ones.
yeah.
I think this is the first movie that I've said it's on the greatest movies list. So.
I mean, if you're recognizing it from for what it did and what it added to horror movies, because it was in the beginning.
Uh-huh.
You were taking like the history of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe, but like if you watch this shit today, it's I don't mean college. Like I said, I'm trying to be respectful, but at the same time, it's a very dated movie.
He gets to that diner, and it's like real nice, and he's like shaking everyone's hand stuff. Sits down. I'm like, all right, cool. Literally, dude's sitting down for like 5 seconds. Where is my dinner? He's like, I should already be at the castle by now, or Count Dracula's castle or whatever. And he says that, and everyone's like, oh. Like they just freeze up and look at. Oh, can we talk about dude's bed in his room, where it was like all these giant 2x4s off the ground?
I think it was to keep the rats away or something.
Oh yeah, is that what it was?
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Everything in that scene was jacked. Like the bedpost was like at a weird angle to where it wouldn't hold weight and everything else.
Uh-huh. Fucking Dracula sees a picture of dude's wife and he's like, "Oh, is this your wife? She has a nice throat." And I was like, "You a freak."
It's like, look at her throat. So
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
And then I'm assuming the dude was already under his spell at that point, because I would have been like, "What?" Like, and then he's like, "Yes, we will be neighbors." And he like buys the house. So there's like Nina, the wife, is like under a spell the whole movie. She's walking on like the ledge of her balcony, like. There's a whole lot of vampire magic going on in this movie that I don't fully understand. So, shout out to that. Oh, yeah, and then you were saying, we didn't know why he was carrying around the casket. Apparently, the vampires have to sleep in the same ground that they were originally buried in, or whatever.
Well, like, it's weird because I don't know who made... I might get shunned for this, but I don't know who made these rules. Because later on, like in the other Bram Stoker's, and like just regular, Dracula shit. They just have to be on desecrated soil.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily where they were buried. It was just,
Yeah.
like whatever. So it has to be like desecrated holy land or something.
Yeah, like I don't when did vampire become a thing? You know? Like what wasn't vampires like a thing in like the 1400s? Like that was like a
Apparently, there was vampire hunting kits. I saw it on Pawn Stars,
oh yeah.
where there was like a kit, that they use to hunt vampires and werewolves and shit.
And like it's a thing that like people still kind of think are real. I mean, take that for what you will.
I mean, you don't. I mean,
Vampires properly originated in folklore, fucking the 17th and 18th centuries, Eastern Europe. These tales formed the basis of the vampire legend that later entered Germany and England, where they subsequently embellished and popularized. Fuck it, I can't speak.
popularized.
Yeah.
I think I messed it up too.
I don't know. What's the... Oh, no, that's not a vampire. I was going to say, what's that guy that they say he's like the living zombie or whatever from Brazil? And I realized it was a zombie and not a vampire. And I was like, oh, fuck.
Hey, was that living zombie guy proven to be a Dracula? And you're like,
Yeah. There's a place I remember reading as a kid where there's supposed to be some lady locked up in there who's a vampire. And they've never opened the door. And it's like, oh, fuck.
Is that the lady who like bathed in the blood of virgins and stuff?
Maybe, but
Lady, her name's like Lady something. I can't remember the name.
yeah, but it's like a thing how like that door hasn't been opened in fucking forever, which I'm sure it has. Like someone working there has been like, "What's going on in here?"
Oh, the light's out. I better change that bulb. And
Yeah. Ah. Like,
and then we got 2020.
Yeah, that's how 2020 happened. She got out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway, it was well, before let's do our favorite and least favorite part. My favorite part, like I said, has to be dude just chucking that book on the ground after reading that shit. I thought that was so good. And then my least favorite part is probably just like is how little we get of Dracula in this movie. Which also they throw in Van Helsing pops up, Dr. Van Helsing, and I was like, oh fuck yeah, Van Helsing.
And he's like 90.
Yeah, but then like you never see him. He's in that one scene, and I was like, oh.
He's in a couple.
Is he? Once again, he looked like everybody, so I kind of lost track of who everyone was in this movie.
He had little glasses. That's the only way you could tell it was him.
Yeah.
But you think Van Helsing? You think that dude Wolverine? And you're like, oh, he's gonna be fighting everybody.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh wait, he's a 90-year-old decrepit old man.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, all right, this is something.
Yeah.
So, I don't know what my favorite scene is.
Yeah.
My worst scene is the only part of the movie that I think they made a big goof.
Uh-huh.
But, so he's writing his wife letters, and he's in Dracula's castle, where no one goes because of the phantasms and stuff, right?
Yeah.
He writes his letter, and then he just happens to find some guy riding by on a horse to mail his letter off for him. And I'm like, who is this guy? Where did this guy come from?
Yeah.
Because he's like in the castle. He's like, he goes to the front gate. He's like, hey, buddy. And he does. Well, obviously, he doesn't say anything.
Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah, keep in mind, every time we like say they're saying stuff, they're not. We're reading it, so.
But he like runs up to him, hands him the letter. The guy puts it in saying, and like all these dudes are wearing like a long shirt.
Yeah.
Which I guess is like a nightgown for men.
Yeah.
That's what they wore back then. And so the whole time I'm like, this motherfucker ain't wearing no pants. Like, none of these dudes are wearing pants.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's just bugging me. But that's probably my least favorite. It just stuck out in my mind, and I was like, I was like, that's weird. And I also like the random hyena.
Yeah, the random hyena that apparently they called a wolf or a werewolf in that movie, which I missed that. But then I read they were like, oh, the werewolf in the movie was actually a striped hyena. And I was like, that was supposed to be a werewolf?
I thought it was adorable.
I did too. I was like, oh,
I
look
was
at
like,
that.
I like this, yeah, I was like, this is cool.
Yeah,
And then,
this is cool.
yeah, gag key.
Yeah,
But I don't know. This movie's weird. Like I said, it's like the first time you watch Frankenstein and you realize that Frankenstein monster is like incredibly slow.
uh-huh.
And you're like, why are people afraid of this thing?
Yeah.
Like, it's like one step to the left, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
But
I think we can both agree though the best thing that ever happened to film was fucking getting them to be able to talk. Like,
talking is good. Just the invention of any instrument other than
yeah,
an organ.
yeah. Like
Because there's some parts in there you could just come in with like an electric guitar and it'd be killer, you know?
yeah.
Wow, wow, wow.
Well, hey, if you ever feel like looking up the typo negative version of it, which I almost like, as I was watching it, I felt like it's a, you know, the thing is with Dark Side of the Moon, it's supposed to be, oh, you match it up with fucking what Wizard of Oz. It's like this whole thing. I almost felt like someone needed to make an album that just matched up with this, you know, and you put that on, and it was like, which I thought was, if I was a better musician and I had that would be, yeah, I would get cracking on it right now, but unfortunately,
Are you practicing or just playing Yakuza nonstop?
I have well, a little bit.
It's like funny you should mention that because
Yeah,
I'm playing Yakuza nonstop.
yeah,
But I don't like I said, there's a whole like subgenre of horror fans who just love Universal's classic monsters, which is a different Dracula. I'm getting a little bit off topic.
yeah,
But like it's still they're movies from like then, right? Like Creature from the Black Lagoon,
uh-huh.
uh, the werewolf one. I don't know what they call it. It's
I think
called
he's just the Wolfman. I think is
the Wolfman, yeah. And then you got Frankenstein's monster and Bride of
the
Frankenstein.
Invisible
All that
Man.
stuff.
Did you say that one already?
I think the Invisible Man's actually a good one. Like I'm not trying
The
to shit
Invisible
on.
Man is
But
I think probably the best Universal monster movie there is. The like
is there a
OG
Dr.
one.
Jekyll, Mr. Hyde?
What's up?
Is there a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, or no?
I don't know.
Anyways, but like,
I know
there's a
they
lot
were.
of people who really dig them, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And I think Rob Zombie's one of them, if I remember right. I think he
yeah.
bought the rights to them or something.
Well, they were rebooting them all because they had the Mummy, which
Hmm.
came out, and then they were planning on. I think Dr. Jekyll and Hyde or whatever were in that fucking movie, and then they were
Oh, that's
planning on making the
spoiler.
whole thing.
So at the end of the Mummy, they bring in like all of the monsters.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. So at the end of the movie I haven't seen it. This is
I
what
haven't
read.
either. Yeah,
Because this is Tom Cruise's The Mummy, not Brandon Fraser.
not Brandon. I've seen that. I've seen all
Yeah.
of
Hell yeah.
them.
But at the end, like, who's that guy in Unhinged?
Russell Crowe.
You
Yeah,
learn he's Dr. Hyde, and they talk about a different guy who can turn into a wolf
uh huh.
or something weird like that. So everyone's like, "Oh shit!" Then they're making like the DC Marvel universe, but it's
Yeah.
with the classic monsters. So they were, but then the Mummy did horrible.
Yeah,
So
it
they
did. Yeah, they
canceled
were
all.
trying to do like it's the first time you watch Iron Man and you stay after credits and fucking Sam Jackson's like, I want to talk to you about the Avenger Initiative, and everyone was like, whoa, and they tried to do that and everyone was like, no.
Yeah, pretty
So,
much.
Yeah,
Pretty much. But so I don't know. Like, if you find, I don't know. Maybe we have to watch all those now. But
I'm down to watch The Invisible Man. I like that movie.
they have words. It's gonna be.
They
it's like
do
a
have
totally
words. It's
different
great.
thing, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Can we watch Young Frankenstein instead of the...
I don't know. I really don't. I'm really not looking forward to watching any of them. But
Yeah.
how did it feel to be colorblind in this movie? That's
Oh,
like
it was
every day.
wild, man. It was. I'm so glad that because the Lighthouse, one of my favorites. I fucking I'm like I like that they did the black and white. I thought it worked really well. I think in the episode I talked about how looking it up, the guy thought about making it a silent movie, and then like he was like, "Ah, you know what? People probably don't really want to watch that." And I'm so glad that that motherfucker did not make. Can you imagine if it was Willem Dafoe's like 3 minute monologue and it's just him talking, and at the end it's just pick like the words pop up of everything he was saying.
It shows Robert Patterson. It's like, I like your cooking.
Yeah, I like your lobster. Yeah,
So no,
yeah,
like, I couldn't. But I mean, it's probably pretty easy to make it a silent movie. You just turn the volume off.
just turn the volume off. Yeah. Did you ever at once feel like I'm gonna throw on Spotify or something, like listen
No,
to music as it was playing? I didn't
I
either.
never even thought of that. Like I've been complaining this whole time about how the organ music was just
Uh-huh.
infuriating, and it never crossed my mind to just mute it.
I thought about muting it, but I didn't. I was like, and then there's one part where it's like something's happening, and it's just like the same key. It's just and it's playing, it's playing. I keep waiting for it to go down. It never does. It just go. It just cuts. It goes like it just cuts to the new scene, and it did it for like a minute. Anyway,
I wonder if silent movie like this is considered a musical
yeah, this counts.
because it's just music, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Anyway. All right.
Yeah, I mean, I think the rating this movie gets is what, classic, right? Just because
Yeah,
like it
classic.
doesn't even get a number, it just gets a, because it is. It's held in high revere by
Yeah.
everybody. Um, that being said, I mean, I could be honest and say I did not enjoy watching this.
Yeah, it's probably a one watch for old Tommy.
Like I feel like I had to pay my dues and watch it, but that be,
Yeah.
there's never a point where I'm gonna be like, you know what?
Fucking
Let's throw up.
Nosferatu.
Yeah, let's throw on that. It's like, what? Why? It's like, hey, you feel like wasting an hour and 7 minutes on just
Yeah.
listening to the worst racket ever?
Yeah.
Because I've heard good organ music, and that wasn't it.
No, like they didn't get. Yeah, it was just it's just sounded the same the whole time. Like if it would have kept changing up in like different moods for different things, but it never did.
Like, yeah, the tempo and everything was always just the same.
Yeah.
So that brings up a question, right? At what point, like, so this movie kind of birthed a lot of the horror movies, right? I don't know if this is the first horror movie. I doubt it, but it's one of the firsts.
One of yeah.
So, at what point do you say, okay, we got to pay homage to this movie because it walked so we could run or whatever?
Uh huh.
And then at what point do you go, you know what? Never mind. No, this is like this is crap, or whatever. It's like Blair Witch found footage, right? Like there was a movie before it that doesn't get credit because it was just bad, right? And then Blair Witch wait, you like that movie? I forget what it's called, Hammerhead or something.
What are you talking about?
The movie before Blair Witch that was a found footage that
Well,
you tried to make us watch it a bunch of times.
no, well that no, the only one Cannibal Holocaust was found footage.
Oh yeah, well
That's the one that people credit for like first, even though obviously you wouldn't know because you didn't finish it. But only like the last 20 minutes of it is found footage. Like the first beginning of that is like the doctor trying to find the footage.
oh, I'm talking about the slasher, and you always say, well, technically, this other film was the first slasher,
Oh,
and I don't remember who it was.
oh no, I don't know.
You
I
don't
think
talk
I
about
always
that?
say whenever we talk about it, I always bring up Black Christmas. I'm like,
Yeah, that's it.
Technically, that's the first slide.
Yeah, yeah, that's the one that you always are like, excuse me, I think
Yeah.
you're forgetting. And
Came
you like
out.
push your glasses back on your face. You're like, technically, guys.
Yeah.
But at what point do you say that a movie is so removed from history or so removed from current day
Uh huh.
that it stops being influential? Right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like, remember, NWA's the Fuck the Police or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and people like this started, a movement or whatever. But now, like, music has gotten so far from that, like more hardcore, right? So I don't.
Oh, you think it's more hardcore? I guess,
Yeah,
kind of. For the most part, it's like my pussy.
yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it's kind of different way, but
Yeah.
I'm just curious to like, at what point do you stop giving Nosferatu credit for being like, oh, this shaped all horror movies, and be like, not really. Like the people making movies now, like
Uh-huh.
because it's 100 years old, right?
Yeah.
So half these people making movies now weren't alive when this came
Yeah, it's
out.
like sure you look back and it's like, all right, Nosferatu was an inspiration, but you're saying like nowadays everyone making movies like probably has never seen Nosferatu. Like I'm sure there's some. I bet you that fucker from who made the Lighthouse I like probably is watching Nosferatu.
Probably just because it's a silent movie and it did really well. But
Yeah.
I'm just curious, right? It's like it's okay to pay your respects,
Yeah.
whatever, right? But you got to get to a point where you're like, okay, yeah, I saw that. Well, okay, I see what they're doing.
Yeah.
I'm not going to use any of this, I don't know. It's hard to
But
like legacy versus
yeah. By the
continuity.
way, 1896, Le Manor de Diable, the House of the Devil, or the Haunted Castle. That's credited as the first horror movie, even though it's only 4 minutes long. But there you
Oh,
go.
this isn't going to be out anywhere near this, but I'm going to say it anyways.
Okay.
The Conjuring, I think, released the new trailer today for the new movie.
Yeah, it was like it has a dumb fucking name. It's like The Conjuring and the Black Rose Hat Murderer Devil. Like
No,
it just seems really long.
I think it's called In the House of the Devil.
Not Black Rose Devil House Devil or whatever
No,
I said.
it was the very first horror movie you just said.
Oh, yeah,
And
House. Yeah.
I think it's a play on that. I'm not 100%,
Mm,
but that's what brought it to my mind. I'm like, that's
yeah.
kind of cool. And now you're shitting on it. So I'm like, oh, maybe it's not cool.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I said,
Yeah.
this movie is a classic. Uh, I don't know. I don't know if it should be.
It should stay in its coffin.
It's good there,
Yeah.
it's there, but like I said, like what could you take from this movie that you can see actually people using still today? Like they didn't have a jump scare. They didn't have like
Well, I think that's kind of like I'm getting to the point now watching horror movies. I don't really like jump scares. Like they're fine if they're done right, but for the most part, I think it's like Nosferatu is more of a like lurking like unsettlingness
like
and
impending.
like yeah, and I kind of that's what I've been digging the most nowadays. So, you take that from it, but like I say, if they made an updated Nosferatu that looked like the dude, I'd be all for it because I really liked how he looked. So I don't know. And then he never talks in the movie. Oh yeah, he does. We literally talked about what he talked about.
Yeah.
So
What a nice
and you get that dumb fucking outfit where he picks him up on the road and he's wearing like a turban or some shit.
How dare you?
Uh,
I'm wearing a turban right now.
yeah, I'm sorry, dude.
But yeah, I don't like I said. I don't know. I'm
Fucking,
not saying
you didn't even change your picture for this. You're still just Sam Jackson.
I didn't realize that. But
I looked over and I just I was thinking, fuck.
but I don't know. Like I said, I'm not trying to take anything away from this movie. I just think that we have classic films, and we hold them in high regard. But at the same time, there's got to be a point to where you go, wait a minute, this is not that great, like or whatever. But
Yeah.
and especially this, right? Like my attention span's pretty short, right? And this was hard to watch. Like I had to physically like turn off my second monitor just to watch this because
Yeah.
I was just scrolling over. I had the same problem in Lake Mungo because
Son of a
like
bitch.
they were just talking so much and nothing was
Uh-huh.
happening. So, and I'm like,
The good thing about Lake Mungo, though, they were talking.
yeah, at least they're talking. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they all had this like really fruity accent. So, yeah.
Damn. We have people in Australia who listen. Australian people don't listen to that.
That was just a play on words because people in New Zealand are called Kiwis, and Kiwis. Fruit.
So Australians are fruity.
Yeah, that's what I was going. What did you think I was meaning by that?
I knew exactly.
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
Yeah.
do. But anyways, we're not going right there.
Anyways.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, it's a classic movie. It started it all.
I don't regret watching it. Like, it was, as much as like we say it doesn't age good, and like, but it's cool to like watch where it's come from, and like, like we said, it's history.
So
History was my favorite subject in class.
You watched this on your day off.
I did.
You had time. I watched this literally before I was getting ready to go to work, which is right now. But
yeah.
So it's like, okay, you watched it because you had the free time. I had to sacrifice sleep time to watch this.
Yeah.
And I have to say, maybe
you're pretty upset about it.
Maybe the sleep would have been better. But
yeah.
Now I have this, and I can say I watched it.
You can, yeah.
My memory, and I'll remember it forever.
Yeah.
What was the point of the captain of the ship tying himself to the ship?
I don't fucking know.
He did that, and I was like, well, now you're just stuck there with him.
Like I said, there was a lot of stuff in it where I sort of came checked out, and I didn't know what. Like, they start talking about, 8 dead on the boat, and I'm like, where did 8 people? When did they die? Like, I don't know.
There was a cool thing where they're like, the Dracula's vile breath pushed the boat even faster, and I was like,
yeah.
I'm sure the dude's breath ain't that bad, guys.
Yeah, why y'all gotta?
Yeah. So why he's a monster? Y'all made him that way.
Yeah.
Bullies. So, but.
Well, hey, there you go. That's our message for today. Don't be a bully. Be Dracula. Don't know. Anyway, thanks for watching. Listen wherever you're ingesting our podcast. That's what I'm gonna start saying now. Thanks for ingesting our podcast, guys. To the Nosferatu episode. I can be honest, I don't know when the next time we'll ever watch a fucking silent movie. I can't think of another silent movie I would want to watch that's horror based. Because then most of the other classics have sound. So
I mean, we watched fucking Willy's Wonderland, and that was almost like watching a silent movie.
Yeah. But anyway, so this will come. I don't know what this will come out in 2 weeks. So I don't know what will be out by then. But whatever is out, go check it out, guys. We got bunch of shit out there. Like, share, subscribe.
Quality entertainment. I don't know
Quality.
Calling it shit.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time editing these.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Hey, do yourself a favor and
learn to edit.
Go. I'm gonna throw out a recommendation here. Go listen to the Wicker Man podcast. I think that was a good episode. I was listening to it a little bit earlier. So, shout out to the Wicker Man.
So did you literally just suggest someone listen to another one of our podcasts? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, man.
You're like, hey.
Well, yeah, that's what.
Yeah, I was like, okay. You think the Wicker Man's good? I don't think it's bad.
The movie or the podcast?
The podcast, yeah. I'm not saying it's, I thought
it was a pretty good one.
Is that your favorite one so far?
No. I think my favorite one might be, I don't know. I think Wild Zero might be my favorite one we've done.
Wild Zero was pretty legit.
I think the comedy was coming in that one.
Yeah, we went all out on that one. Well, we go all out on them. I think the Lighthouse one's actually really good.
The Lighthouse one, yeah. I really like the Event Horizon one all the way back. That's where we get motherfucker flying.
That's one of our first ones, yeah.
That's a collab. That's when the Bags is lying. Bags like when the guy was like, "I'm home," and goes into the dark. Why didn't Lawrence be what? Like turn around and
You're saying some crazy stuff, buddy. What are you?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So,
They're all good, right? They're all like children, right? There's none of them that I don't like. Like, there's not one that I'm just like, ugh. Can we just get rid of this?
yeah. I like to believe that, like, if the channel keeps growing, like, we get more well known, it'll be a thing, like a quiz, where it's like, what's the one movie that is like they were gonna do an episode on, but then didn't do it because of the movie?
I
And,
will.
like, it's
Cannibal Holocaust.
that's the answer, yeah. And I want like that to be a thing later, where it's like, what's the lost episode that they never did because of the movie, and see if people can get it. So if you're listening this far, keep that in mind for down the line.
So, okay, if we get, like, once we hit 1,000 subs, we will
Uh-huh.
do Cannibal Holocaust.
Oh my god, you're gonna make it all the way?
Well, I'm gonna watch the PETA version.
Oh, the PETA version? See, that was I might have liked it better but when I clicked on it and it was like animal free or, what, I was like, well, I feel like if I'm going to do it, I gotta just go all the way. I don't know. That's the one. I remember Bags watched that movie and literally for 3 weeks, every day at work, he would just keep going, the turtle, Matt, or Thomas, the turtle.
He called you the wrong name.
He did, yeah. That movie really messed him up. So I don't think Maverick even started watching it because he was going to like a party or something. He wasn't planning on making it, but then he did make it. That's why we ended up watching Event Horizon. That was the backup movie.
Oh yeah, I guess he did.
Mm-hmm.
I would say he might have been on the road even.
Yeah, no, he was back at that point. He's been back since we started the podcast.
That's the real question, right? Is once he goes on the road,
If he goes on the road.
is it just gonna be me and you?
I don't know.
Or do we need to start finding? Do we need to open up auditions for a third guy?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anyway.
If you guys want to be part of the podcast, just drop a line. You know.
Oh yeah. Slide in DMs. Anyway. Alright, thanks for listening to Nosferatu. Something's gonna be out, so go check out whatever that is.
Something's gonna be.
Something's gonna be out. We're keeping the ball rolling on these.
Lake
so.
Mungo came out Friday, right?
This is gonna be so. Lake Mungo is gonna come out Friday, and then Monday will be I Still Know What You Did Last Summer.
Oh,
And then the next Friday will be
Candyman.
Candyman. So I guess. Okay, so Candyman just came out Friday, and this will come out Monday. None of this is true. We did Mortal Kombat instead. Disregard what you just heard. So go check out Candyman. There, you got a little behind the scenes of when all these episodes are coming out. So, yeah. So go check out Candyman.
It's not even
Thanks.
behind the scenes because it's gonna come out after all this is.
After, yeah. Anyway, we'll see you next time with whatever overtime we do. We still got a couple.
Do you have any clue what the next overtime want to be?
I was thinking the other day that it's been a while since we watched
Puppet Matt.
Jumping.
Oh,
I was going with the Return of the Living Dead 3 with the Zombie Queen or whatever that one was.
we can do that. It's
Yeah.
we'll see. That's
see.
That's up there on the list though.
Yeah, that's up there. And what was the other one? There was one more. Well, there was a couple, but there was one more. Weren't we doing another series on Overtime?
I mean, Chainsaw Massacres.
That's it. Yeah, we gotta watch the fourth one with Matthew McConaughey. We haven't done that one yet.
All right.
Yeah. So anyway, one of those will be coming soon. So look forward to that.
Or just a completely random movie.
Or just a complete like a nose for yeah. Like we just went off the. People are gonna look at it and be like, okay, they're going with these two series, and then nose for.
I want to start a new whole series called Smoke Break, where it's just regular movies.
Oh yeah, is that what we're gonna call Smoke Break?
Well, I just want to watch Mortal Kombat and talk about it.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking Mortal Kombat. That could be our excuse for starting.
I just don't know, like, what other kind of break do you take at work?
Well, Well, the only thing with Mortal Kombat, I was like, oh, we could call it the go back to the OG, call it Freak Out Theater, because we were planning on going to the theater. But
I was just gonna watch it at home on HBO.
oh, me and Maverick will probably go see it.
Man,
I say that by the time my next day off comes around, he'll probably have already watched it. I'll be
He's like, I
pissed.
watched a bunch of clips online.
Yeah, I didn't watch they released like that Sub-Zero versus Scorpion thing, and I kind of know how it's gonna end, but I was like, well, I'm not gonna watch this because I don't want that ruined for me yet.
No, it doesn't show how it ends.
Oh yeah.
So like, it's the meeting of the two. It's the first 5 minutes of the movie is all.
Yeah.
So you're not spoiling anything, but
Well, yeah. Well, I know, you know how Scorpion's born, so that's why I'm like, well, I know what's gonna happen
oh,
here.
you think you know, but you don't even know.
Oh yeah.
What do you think happens?
Well, I mean, in the game, Sub-Zero kills Scorpion and his family, and then Scorpion is resurrected, and that's how, Also, well, I won't get Sub-Zero in this movie is Bihan or whatever, which in the games, Bihan doesn't turn out very good. So
Oh, I thought Bihan was the fat drunk dude.
no, that's Bo Raicho. That's the one where everyone includes him in lists of the worst Mortal Kombat movies or characters, and then everyone in the comments is like, "Why do you have Bo Raicho?" They always are like, "No, get Bo Raicho off of this list."
A weird thing that you see in that trailer before, since now we're breaking down movie trailers.
Yeah.
Apparently, Sub-Zero is Chinese, and Scorpion is Japanese,
Yeah.
and they don't speak the same language. So like, there's a part at the end where Sub-Zero like has like this like 20 seconds monologue. At the end of it, Scorpion goes, I don't know what you're saying, but I don't like it. Like type deal. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. So
Yeah.
I was like, I never realized this. So
Before we go, you got a favorite Mortal Kombat character, Tyler?
I only played the first two. And after
Oh.
that, I got tired of it.
Yeah.
I was a Tekken guy. I really wasn't a Mortal Kombat guy.
Oh. Not even a Street Fighter. You went with Tekken.
Yeah. It's, it's the far superior game.
Oh yeah.
They have all the combos and stuff. Well, you couldn't just hit buttons in Tekken and win. You if you knew what you were doing versus someone just hitting buttons. Like it was like a skill based thing more than a button masher. But I don't know. I would. I mean, Scorpion's high on the list for me, but I'm not gonna lie. Sub-Zero was always cooler.
No.
You could freeze people, Thomas.
Yeah, but get over here.
Yeah, you just duck.
And you could fucking burn them and shit.
I don't know. Like, ironically enough, Kano was my favorite until I saw the movie.
Oh, really? A lot of people say Kano became their favorite after the movie.
Oh, no. That guy in the movie's like...
Well, that guy in the movie is the only reason Kano is Australian nowadays. He was never Australian in the games before, and then that movie came out, and they've always made him Australian since.
I don't know. Kano was the only character that... Never mind.
Okay, he's pretty... Fucking Scorpion's probably number one for me. I got a soft spot for Reptile. Controversial pick, though. I like Reptile better when he's a reptile. I don't like the ninja version better, which a lot of people say he looks goofy as a reptile. I grew up with Reptile as a reptile. So
when did they bring the robots into it?
I think Mortal Kombat 3 is when they came.
That's
in,
when I was
Cyrax
like, I'm not doing that.
I'm not a big fan of the cyborgs and stuff. Yeah,
that chick with 4 arms is kind of hot.
Fucking I can't remember her name.
Yeah. That's Smash.
Shout out.
Yeah, right. If you have 4 arms, call me.
Yeah. Anyway, all right, let's wrap this shit up. Thanks for watching.
Appropriate, yeah.
Yeah. We'll see you guys next time.
Deuces.